Let's pray. Father in heaven, thank you for your love for us. Thank you for how you demonstrated that on this memorial past weekend, sending your son to the cross. Thank you for that sacrificial gift that we could all receive eternal life. Lord, thank you for this meal time. Thank you for Dennis Drummond and just the hospitality here. Thank you for the meal. Pray that you bless this family here. Bless our Rotary Club and our Rotary family. Thank you for all the efforts that have been made to contribute to our community and to the world. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, introduction, guests and visiting Rotaries. Mary Vasquez, thank you for joining us for Rotary Club of Maple Grove. Lloyd Jensen is here. He's a guest that's going to be inducted into membership today. I don't see anybody else out there. Dan Clement, welcome back. It's been a little while. I think, has it been a little while? It's great to see you. Dan's one of our snowbirds, and I don't remember seeing you before today. Were you here last week too? No. Welcome back, Dan. Rotary announcements. Aaron Anthony.
All right, hello everyone, Aaron Anthony. And first off, I want to see a show of hands. Does anyone like when people litter? All right, so I didn't see any hands, so if you did not raise your hand, I expect you to sign up for this year's ditch pickup. We'll be doing this on Tuesday, May 17th at 5:30. Heather will be sending out an email with a sign-up sheet with a lot more information. We'll also be adding a fun twist this year. There will be prizes for specific items that are found. So look forward to that. And then we'll also be doing, for the second time in a row now, a gathering at the Welcome Center. There'll be pizza, adult beverages, always a really good time out there. And so look forward to seeing that email. And I didn't see hands, so I expect all of you to sign up for Tuesday, May 17th.
Thanks, Don Peterson.
District conference this coming week. Zoom meetings only. Thursday and Friday. Both days will be a noon meeting for about an hour and a half, and there will be an afternoon meeting from 4. I think that's about a 2-hour one. Sign up online this coming week.
Thanks, Don, for sharing that. District conference Thursday and Friday this week. Am I off the microphone? Thursday, Friday this week, I think. Yep. One thing I wanted to share related to district conference is one of the speakers that caught my eye. There's a, where is it? Here we go, Dick Beardsley. He was a marathon runner. This guy seems really interesting. He's given a talk on adversity, overcoming adversity, beating the Goliaths in our life. He ran in the London Marathon, won the London Marathon, close second in the Boston Marathon. Every year, 13 consecutive years, he improved his personal best running marathons. So he's from Bemidji. He's a motivational speaker and author, but it's worth taking a look at the agenda on the district conference. And I would challenge you, maybe just attend one session. You don't have to do the whole thing. Look at the schedule, see if you see something that interests you, and log on. It's a Zoom meeting, so it's real easy to do. Any other Rotary announcements? Dave Winkleman?
Could you scroll down and see what's on
Here we go.
the guys hopefully have an environment
Friday, April 22nd. Looks like there are a lot of good choices. I don't see anything. April 22nd is Earth Day? Okay, okay, very good.
Well, this is my Rotary Minute also, so I can tell you a little bit about some of the speakers. Dick Beardsley, he lives in Detroit Lakes, so he is a local. He also is a fishing guide besides doing the marathon thing, and he's a motivational speaker. I've heard him speak before. It's very good. It's worth attending. If you look at session 2 with Kyle Hagan, he's from District 5560, past president of the club and past district governor. He was also the one that started the Prior Lake Music Festival, which down in Prior Lake, they struggled the first couple of years getting it off the ground. Now they make about $500,000 in profit a year off of that festival. So he's very interesting and a very good speaker. Youth Exchange, Brett Carlson, Beth Athla, they're both Rotarian and District 550, have many years working with Youth Exchange and RILA, good people. Grants, Molly Harrington is the grants chairperson for the district. She will cover just the basics on grants. She is she's the new chair for that committee. And but she's a really nice lady and knows what she's doing. Club leadership transition, Mark and Chris, both are from Duluth. Very good speakers there. Watch Julio Graciaso. I just spoke to Julio actually yesterday on something else, but he's past district governor for Guatemala City in Guatemala. We're going to be doing a vocational training team there here this next year. It deals with fire. We're going to have fire department, exchange fire departments with that country. And so I'm very active with Julio. Ending human trafficking, Mary Kay Vergis, my wife, Susan, and Linda Marin, they'll present on the festival. It looks like there's a possibility that Friday night that they are going to have the Oak Ridge Boys playing. So that's kind of a nice addition to that event. On Friday, in Polio Now, Tim and Bob McLean, both they're from Zone. We work for the Zone on polio, and they'll be giving us updates on polio. We've had a little bit minor setbacks in what's happening in the world right now. Ending human trafficking, Stacy Schaefer and Nikki Flowers, both from out in the Bismarck area. Stacy runs a nonprofit for human trafficking, and unbelievable speaker. I've worked with her for the last 3 years, as a matter of fact. Foundation, Tim McClare, Herb Schmidt, Tricia Burton. They very informative, lots of good information there about the foundation and the annual fund. Public Image, Stephen Margaret. That guy is absolutely amazing. You know how you run into people in your life and you think that guy's going to go somewhere. I met with him at a district conference. I think it was up on Lake Vermilion at the casino. And I took one look at him after 5 minutes and I said, that guy's going someplace. And so he's chairing this, and I very much look forward to hearing him speak. You'll enjoy him a lot. Visioning, Blaine Johnson. Blaine's past district governor for our district. He's been involved in the visioning process for clubs forever. I think he was the one who actually got it started. So that'll be interesting. District awards, Roseanne Casey will be handing those awards out. I don't know if we applied for any. We probably should have if we didn't, but anyway. And then there's just closing arguments by our district governor, Keith Brock. And it is kind of split up like into the sessions, so you've got a break between the morning and the afternoon sessions. So, you know, you don't have to attend the whole thing. You do need to sign up for it, however. If you go to the district website, just sign up. It's easy. They just want your name and who's attending, and that's basically it. So that's your Rotary Minute for this week.
Thank you. Any other Rotary announcements? All right, Allie, come on up.
Fundraising planning has begun. I'm excited, and I want everyone else to get excited about it. Okay, things are coming. You'll be updated once we get more going. again, plan to sell a few tickets to something exciting. So think of those people that you want to sell to, or your businesses or coworkers, whatever. So that's that.
Thank you, Ally. Venue change. There was an email sent announcing a change of venue. This chapter of our Rotary life is coming to an end. This is the second. Next week will be our last meeting at the Dennis Drummond Winery. Notice how when we all sang, you hear how it resonated in here. We're going to get to do that one more time next week before we say goodbye. I wanted to share some of the positive comments. We did a club survey, you know, and I things that I wanted to share that I think are important was all of the complimentary notes that people had. Dennis Drummond Winery has done a really nice job, did a great job hosting our noon meeting. Staff is always extremely friendly, happy with service and meals. The venue is very nice. Service features are well above normal. The winery does a good job. Great venue and meal, lovely space. I want to share that because I think there's a lot of great things that were happening here, and the board a week ago had a very difficult decision to make. We had a very difficult decision to make that made, you know, in what we feel is the best interest of the club. And the key variable was finding a meeting venue that was central to all of our businesses to make it easier to attend, easier to attract membership. So as I mentioned in my email, the announcement, we're going to be leaving some really nice things behind here. And I want to ask everybody to stand up and please give a round of applause to Jody and her staff. Thank you. Okay, a couple of things on our agenda today. We are going to, we have a service above self award to announce.
All right, folks. Adam Reese here with our service team. And let's see if this goes forward. I'm not sure how to go how do I press slides forward? Is it?
Get right up on that mic.
Yeah, all right. I'm just trying to figure out how to do the screen advance. Sorry, Heather. Did I mess it up? Probably did. Is that the button? Okay. Oh, wonderful. Okay, great. Thank you, Heather. So, you know, we get this little group and we got a group of the members, and there's some others, Allie over there, Carol's over there, and this is a team effort, as you know. And we had given a little bit of history at a previous meeting, which I won't go over, but the idea was to reinvigorate and bring back service above self. The goal of this group is to improve health of the community by raising awareness of the Rotary values, service above self. And we've talked in the past about eligibility and the evaluation process is based upon the four-way test. And then we have the online nomination form, which I believe we're going to try to make it easy, right, Allie, to to get to. So there's work on that part. But the first awards, as you know, and Peter Nelson was our first award winner, was based upon the work that you all did in this club, that we asked you to nominate people. And out of that came these Rotary Award winners that will be for the next 3 months. We did March, and now we're going to do April, and I'm going to ask Jeff to come up here now to do the announcement. But just to catch you up with a little background information, since we last met with you, Jeff and Allie attended, I believe, the AM Brainerd Club, right? Yep. So we want to expand this award to our other Rotarians that are in the area, and then long-term, we would like it to be a complete community-wide award. Lee, where's Lee? Sorry. There she is. Lee and I are going to be attending the Central Lakes Rotary Club meeting next week. We'll look forward to that and sharing that with them and hopefully getting their buy-in to the process. But the plan going forward is that we will have this each quarter, but out of that will come up to 3 individuals that will be recognized. Once for each month, and then annually we'll select 1 individual to be the service above self for the year. So more to come on that. So without further ado, Jeff, it's all yours.
Thank you.
You guys speak right.
So I get the honor of announcing this month's recipient of the Service Above Self Award. And many of you know she works very hard for not only our club, but for our community. And I've had I've been fortunate enough to work with this recipient the last 3 years on our Rotary Board of Directors. And she just goes above and beyond, and she's so organized, and it's just amazing. So this award is for Heather. So Heather, come on up. So I'm just going to read a couple things. Like I mentioned, Heather and I have been working on the board, Rotary board together. She and I are the co-chairs of the Peach Sale, so we get to work there together. And also, we both serve on the Women's Center, Mid-Minnesota Women's Center board. And she's been the chairperson for the last couple of years. And it's just amazing what she brings to our community. So, not to mention her job at the Port Group Home. So it's just an honor to be working side by side next to Heather. So some comments that were made in the submission form. Heather doesn't cut corners. She always does the right thing. Heather's always helpful to all. She's always upbeat and positive with all that she does. Heather's always helpful to others, regardless of her own time constraints associated with the club and Port Group Homes and whatever else she's involved in. In addition to the time-consuming work she does for our club, from recording, depositing payments, setting up audio-visual equipment, and this list goes on, she leads the work done by Port Group Homes, which has dealt with issues including challenges of COVID and labor shortage. So the community and our club need more people like Heather. That's for sure. So we have something to read from Shannon Wusso.
So Shannon Wusso, who's the Executive Director of the Mid-Minnesota Women's Center. A few words to share about you, Heather. It is my honor to share a little about Miss Heather Kelm. Our paths first crossed in 2006. Little do we know then we'd still be connected today, but I'm so pleased that we are. Heather has taught and administered programs at Port Group Homes for most of her career. She has also served as a volunteer of Mid-Minnesota Women's Center's Board of Directors since 2017, recently finishing a 2-year term as chair. This is not a small responsibility during normal times, but it's an even larger undertaking during a worldwide pandemic. She exhibits a kind of work ethic and professionalism one wishes everyone had. To find such constant striving to improve herself, her family, her community is truly admirable. I believe this is a perfect time to formally acknowledge Heather's significant contributions to the Brainerd Lakes community. And Shannon concluded by saying, Heather, it is a privilege to have you as a colleague and friend. Thank you for all that you do.
Does anybody else have anything that they want to add? Does he have anything?
I've been getting to know Heather and working with Heather. She's a real doer. I think anybody who knows her knows that. Let me share a couple of things. She's a role model of what a Rotarian should be. C.S. Lewis spoke that humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. And from Stephen Covey, how does humility manifest itself in leadership and in life? A humble person is more concerned about what is right and being right, about acting on good ideas rather than having ideas, about embracing new truths rather than defending old positions, more about building the team than exalting the self, about recognizing the contribution rather than being recognized. And one more from St. Augustine, the way to wisdom is first through humility, second through humility, and third through humility. If humility does not precede and accompany and follow every good work that we do, if it is not before us to focus on, if it is not beside us to lean upon, if it is not behind us to fence us in, pride will wrench from our hands any good deed we do at the moment that we do it. When I think about Heather's service to Rotary, all of these words ring true. She is a servant leader who continues to show up when and where help is needed. She's taken on the role of club secretary. She's helped Paula retire from the bunny suit. She served as youth counselor for our international exchange program. And what really moves me is that I know she's out there bringing this quiet compassion, this servant leadership to the children of Port, being an island in their storm, modeling patience and charity, and an agape love that is both selfless and unconditional. Heather, thank you for all of your yeses. Thank you for being a Rotarian, and congratulations on your award. I can just see this next year. This is going to be the year of shuffling papers. I'm going to have to figure this out. Put them in order, staple them together. I'm not sure how this is going to work. Andy had a real cool thing at the meeting. He's got a tablet that's electronic and he writes on it with a pencil or a, what's it called? Remarkable. Okay, we're going to go next to a new member induction, new club member induction. Todd Bymark will come forward and do the honors.
Rotarians and guests, new members enhance the vitality of our club, extend the spirit of Rotary, and increase our usefulness and influence in our community. Today we welcome Floyd Jensen into our Rotary Club. Floyd, you've been elected into membership because your fellow members believe you're a worthy representative of your calling, and you possess those qualities that exemplify the true spirit of Rotary in your public, business, and social and private life. You're being welcomed not just into the Rotary Club of Brainerd, but into the worldwide association. By virtue of your membership in Brainerd, you'd be welcomed into any Rotary Club in the world. With your membership come duties and obligations. You're expected to implement the 4-way test into your life and profession, attend club meetings regularly, perform your share of club service, participate in club committees, and use your talents and knowledge so the club can carry the principles of Rotary into the community. Rotarian Jensen, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Brainerd, I now formally admit you into membership into this club and ask that your sponsor present your PIN and your membership materials, which we'll present in just a moment. And I'll ask the members to please rise. Members, I am pleased to welcome Floyd Jensen into our membership, befriend him, and help him to exemplify the principles of Rotary. Welcome, Floyd.
So our last agenda item for today, our presenter, so to speak, is Jennifer Persons. I assume she's joining us remotely. Carol, you doing it? Okay. Carol Johnson is going to share with us a little bit about Camp Journey, what's new and happening at Camp Journey. Thank you, Carol.
So Jennifer called me yesterday afternoon and asked, well, she said, we're supposed to do a program tomorrow on Camp Journey. I'm like, oh, okay, sure. Of course, she has patients at this time, so she wasn't able to make it. So I told her I'd fill in for her. And Heather, can you bring up that? So here's what's been going on with Camp Journey. Ashley Neiman, Jennifer Person, and myself, we kind of get things started in January. And if you remember Ashley Neiman, she actually went through Camp Journey probably at about the age of 12, 13 after losing her father. Well, that kind of inspired her to now become a therapist. And she is actually a therapist who focuses in the area of children's grief. So it's kind of interesting how Camp Journey has had quite the impact on her. And she's taken, if you will, a lead counselor role at Camp Journey. Now, she has moved to Las Vegas, but the hope is that she's going to be moving back to the area. But she is coming back for Camp Journey. She said that's going to be in her budget every year going forward, as long as she's able to be here. So that's it's perfect for us because she does an amazing job. So what happens in January is we start contacting school collaborative workers, churches, different organizations that may want to suggest Camp Journey to a child ages usually 5 to 17, somewhere in there, who may benefit from our camp. And one thing Ashley did is she put together this website that Heather's showing us, and she's done an awesome job. We did do a little rebranding. Our logo, if you will, is a little bit different. But this year, Camp Journey is going to be May 20th through the 22nd out at Confidence Learning Center. And you can remember when it is because it's always the third weekend of May. Okay, always the third weekend of May. And Jennifer actually went and talked to the Sertoma Club a couple weeks ago about Camp Journey. So we get to hope to get some volunteers, not only from Rotary, but also from Sertoma. And we do need your help. We do need volunteers. We have a lot of activities. We have a lot of things going on. And we're already up to about 15 kids that have registered. And we'll probably have a few more come in before camp time. Now, where do we need volunteers? Friday night, we need volunteers to help get the kids settled, help them get settled in their cabin, and then come back over to the main lodge and do activities. We need volunteers for the meals, which would be Saturday breakfast, Saturday lunch, and Saturday dinner, and Sunday breakfast. So we need volunteers for that also. Also during the day, we'll need volunteers to help different activities, things like that. Don't be afraid of these kids, okay? They're not going to ask you anything about grief, mourning, or death, okay? So there's no need to be afraid of them. There's really not. They're just kids coming to be in an environment with other kids that have gone through what they've gone through, and then some of us adults who have also been through similar things. A couple really cool things we have planned for this year. We have a doctor coming, and it's so fascinating to hear these kids and their questions that they have for the doctor. And we also have either Alex Brenny or somebody from Brenny coming, and the kids can ask questions of a funeral director. And once again, it is fascinating to hear the questions that these kids have of a funeral director. And, you know, it's questions they have, things that they want or need to talk about. So it's really cool for us to be able to do that. So coming up next week and the weeks thereafter, we'll have a volunteer sheet on the tables. And please consider just come out for half an hour. You don't have to be there very long, half an hour, whatever you are willing to do the weekend of May 20th through the 22nd. We start on Friday at about 6 p.m. We wrap it all up on Sunday morning at about 10. Sunday morning is a big time we need volunteers because that's when we need to clean Camp Confidence Learning Center, and we always like to leave it better than when we got there. So, and Rotarians have done an amazing job of making it look better than when we got there. So I'll have sign-up sheets for you, and we will need probably a Rotarian to stay overnight. I usually stay overnight, but usually like a guy to be able to do that too. Jeff has done it in the last few years, but we'll see if he's able to do that. So that'll be a volunteer sheet also. Any questions? I feel like I just spewed that all out really quickly. Any questions that you have? Yeah, Don. Confidence Learning Center is Camp Confidence. They changed the name. It's, what would you consider that? South on, is that 15? What is the road that goes south like Gull Lake there? 18? Okay, it's just south on Highway 18. You're 77 and go south on 18, not very far. There was a question somewhere? Yeah, Dave.
Would it be nice to have a guitar player around the campfire or Friday night?
Well, aren't you just a miracle worker? That'd be awesome. Yeah, we'll put you down for that. We will be down for that. Smart. Hold on one second. Let Paula get to you.
The kids at the campfire, they are wound up having a great time. They just had pizza and maybe a little guitar music for background. Sounds good.
Maybe the car music would calm them down for bedtime. Any other questions? All right, thank you. And you'll see the volunteer sheet next week.
Thank you, Carol. I wanted to share a funny story about Camp Journey. I was a new member at that time, and I had volunteered to help out at the dinners. It was a spaghetti dinner, so Rutger and I are in the kitchen at Camp Confidence, and we had a giant pot of spaghetti cooking. And if anybody who's cooked spaghetti, you know, when you take the noodles out of the pot and you put them all together, they like to stick together. So Jack and I had a real situation on our hands with this big kettle of pasta wanting to stick together with itself. And I didn't know Jack at the time. That's where I met Jack. We've been friends ever since. And this kind of fellowship through service is the way it works. So, you know, these opportunities for us to get together and do service together is about making, you know, spending time with people and getting to know them a little bit better. said we our noodles together. Yes, we did. There was some quick thinking. We were definitely, Jack and I, thinking on our feet in the moment. We have a little bit of time left. Today is a club meeting. Dave reminded me I skipped Sergeant at Arms. Pete Nelson was going to let us know a little about Rotary Park. Why don't you come on up? Thank you. Thanks for the reminder. I didn't have that scribbled in my notes.
Well, so I gotta check this screen and see if John Forrest is still looking over my shoulder. So I'm sure if he has audio, I'm sure he'll offer a correction on this. So Mark is handing out this sheet, and feel free to follow along if you want. During the winter, it's kind of appears to be inactive at the park, but there has been a lot of activity behind the scenes. So I kind of wanted to bring the club up to date. The first event is planned for this Saturday. It's Pheasants Forever, who are planning an Earth Day celebration. And when I talked to the organizer, they said we're planning for up to 250 youth. And so, and I have to tell you, that's as much as I know about it. But I don't know how in the world they'll deal with 250 people, but I guess they've got a lot of activities planned. So, over the winter, especially in the recent months here, John and I have met with the Brainerd City Engineer, who is in charge of all of the streets and the Parks and Rec. We also met with the Brainerd Parks and Recreation Board, and we've met with Brainerd Public Utilities. And so that has resulted in several initiatives. First of all, our picnic tables. We had talked about building our own picnic tables, and I was looking forward to that construction project, but the Park and Rec Board adopted a standard for all of the parks, and they would like Rotary Park to be in compliance with the standard that was adopted. So they are going to provide all the picnic tables. The second thing that came up is, well, what about restrooms? And so the city again stepped up and they said, we will provide 2 satellites, men's and women's, at the pavilion. And then we talked about, how are we going to do any cooking down there? And the city stepped up and said, we're going to install 2 charcoal grills, 1 on each side of the pavilion, so that if there were 2 families or 2 reservations, they wouldn't be stepping on each other. And then the question came up, well, what about the garbage? So they're going to put in trash receptacles at the pavilion and at the parking lot. There's also been talk about memorials, and a local citizen stepped up, and I apologize, I don't recall the name. So they walked the park with John Forrest and chose 2 locations to install memorial benches with some type of scenic overlook. And then we asked the city about parking. We thought, you know, when we had an event there, people are all over the grass. And so wouldn't it be better to have an expanded parking lot? Well, it turned out the park board really likes the setting of the pavilion. And so we suggested putting parking in front of the pavilion, and they said, no way. We like that green space. So they said, in fact, in order to make sure you don't park there, the city is going to send the street crew there, and they will excavate the current parking lot, and so that it is larger. And actually, that turns out to be really good, because there's an area next to that current parking lot that kind of has a lot of junk in it, and they'll take care of that. So now, through the initiative of the solar project, David Winkleman arranged for a meeting with Brainerd Public Utilities and was contacting them. And so thank you, David, for that initiative. So David and I met with EPU. We went to their board meeting late last month. And EPU said, you know, we like what you're doing. And so they're going to install at their cost all of the buried lines to bring electrical power out to the pavilion. So we will wind up with our own service meter out there. I don't think we have to pay for the electricity though, but they'll put a pedestal out there. And then we'll probably have to actually run some conduit so that we have outlets at the pavilion. So then I talked to another member, John Landsberg, and asked John about landscaping around the pavilion. And he said, you know, why don't I just send a crew over here? And I thought, well, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So when the city excavates for the parking lot, there will be some topsoil left over. And so that topsoil will be set aside and we will use that to excavate, finish the excavation and feather out the grassy area and so forth around the pavilion. So also the city is interested in accurate maps of all of our walking trails. So they've volunteered to GPS all of the walking trails in the park so that there's an accurate map that's available. And we are going to be part of a research project for what is called an Atlas B box. And I don't know what that is, but I'm hoping that we may get a presentation on that. So that's a research activity that'll take place down next to the field of seeds. So those are the things that I can tell you with a very, very high degree of certainty that we have commitments to get all of this done over the next few months. So then there's some other things that we're working on that are less concrete. But we think we're going to get solar power installed on the pavilion, and that'll be a great, it's very, very much fits the environmental theme, and it's a terrific educational tool, I think. The fireplace at the end of the pavilion is still planned, and we have budget for it. But we are working on kind of a final design and the availability of of a contractor to build it. You know, I was active in building the pavilion, but the fireplace is that would be a little bit new skill set. So we're going to try and find if we can hire more of that done. So some of you have been down in the park, and you've noticed there's that concrete bunker that is many times graffiti covered. Well, that is part of Brandon Public Utility, and that's the location where where the sanitary sewer crosses the river. And so the BPU is planning to upgrade their river crossing. And so in doing that, that bunker then becomes excess. So before it's demolished, we hope to be able to do an evaluation on the structure and perhaps turn that into a very nice deck overlooking the river, kind of a wildlife viewing platform. One of the concerns that we've talked about is security. You know, we built a nice facility down there, and then you hesitate sometimes to do that. You hope for the best, but there are vandals that may want to do something to it. So we're investigating security cameras. The city is planning security cameras at several parks around town, but Rotary Park is not currently in their budget to do that because it doesn't have power. So hopefully the power part will be rectified, and then the security aspect can be addressed. The city encouraged us as a club to put in bike racks, and so that'll be a project coming up for us. There was also a donor that offered to the city, I forget how many, like 50 or 100 butternut trees. And so it was nice to be on the radar of the city because they contacted us right away and said, boy, could you guys use these butternut trees? Well, I'm not a forester, and so we're waiting to find out if we actually have soils suitable for butternut trees. There's as part of our master plan, there's also fencing that's planned around the field of seeds because it's not very well defined. So a novice like me who doesn't understand botany walks back there and if I wasn't there doing all the planting, that probably wouldn't be obvious to me just where that field of seeds is. So so that's a potential project. And then there's some signage. So the park has actually several entrances. All the other entrances are walking paths. And so those walking paths should get signage so that people know when they are entering Rotary Park. Those are in the plan also. So there you have it in a nutshell. Over the past months, we haven't been standing still, and we have a lot of, I think, positive things, a lot of positive interaction from the various city departments and so forth.
So there's not much really happening at the park, is that what you're telling us? And this is our centennial project, right? Our 100th, our club, go Heather. Oh, Christy.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
I just wanted to point out with Rotary Park, first of all, it's just such a great resource, but we are really excited because on July 30th, we are planning a event along with the YMCA, Smiles for Jake, and Brainerd Parks and Rec in the Riverfront to host our annual Smile Fest event, which this year is going to be called Smile on the Sippy. And we will be having a paddle race that's being coordinated by the Y. But over in the Rotary Park area, we'll be having all of our Smiles for Jake events, including live music, face painting, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, all kinds of different activities along with mental health providers, free picnic lunch for everyone. And so Rotary Park is going to get used to its full potential on that date. And we'll also be doing historic riverfront tours that will be done either in your kayak or a canoe, and you'll be able to go to different spots on the river and then hear about the history that happened on the river also at that event. And so thank you to everybody who's worked so hard, and we're going to make sure we have an awesome event at Rotary Park on July 30th.
From east to west, one province, most who serves the best. R-O-T-A-R-I, that spells Rotary.